As terrible as the whole Hasan dog situation has been, Hasan's fan base getting mad at Charlie for covering this is at least something amusing to come from this whole thing, as that's exactly what we have going on right now. For example, on Penguinz0 subreddit, Charlie, please speak to Ludwig. He'll vouch for Hasan. Make a new video apologizing for spreading misinfo and end this drama before it harms his reputation. And shortly after that post was made, a bunch of defenders from Hasan's subreddit actually came to Charlie's subreddit trying to brigade it with damage control. We'll go over all that in more detail a bit later. For now, let's hop over to Hasan Piker's subreddit. This is one of the top posts on there for today with over 700 upvotes, titled, "Pretty Disappointing Video from Charlie." The OP writing really felt like someone with no understanding of Hasan or the situation giving baseless accusations. And what are these so-called baseless accusations? Well, after Hasan seemingly shocked his dog Kaya, Charlie said this.
Now, for the life of me, I cannot understand what he's even upset about in the first place that he starts, scolding the dog for. She moved, an inch, slightly off of that. It's like in a video game, like in Metal Gear Solid, when someone gets a question mark over their head, they're zipping to you immediately. She doesn't do anything really other than move slightly, and he is noticeably upset.
And by the way, yeah, I'm assuming everyone watching this video is already familiar with the whole Hasan incident from yesterday, as well as all the contextual stuff that he had done in the past that also looks really bad for how he treats Kaya and his other dog, Fish, rest in peace. I'm referring to the resurface clip that allegedly depicts Hasan pulling Fish's tail. And now back to Hasan's subreddit. One of Hasan's top 1% posters over here says, in response to Charlie covering the situation, "Disappointing is an understatement. Bro just single-handedly assured this will go on for days, if not weeks longer, and all the normies will be saying Hasan abuses Kaya as well. The problem with taking a middle-of-the-road sort of neutral take when something is just wrong is that it will embolden all the people lying into thinking they're not crazy. They honestly believe that Hasan has any need to use a shot collar on Kaya, when for years we have seen her grow up and learn to follow commands with no big red button or remote in sight. It's pretty crazy how this person refers to something that's just wrong, and they're not referring to what seems to be the abuse of Kaya. No, what's wrong is criticizing Hasan for this. And as so many people have pointed out, the problem is not even just the whole alleged shot collar thing. It's how he forces Kaya to sit for hours and hours and hours in the back of his stream, and then if she so much as dares move to stretch or whatever, he seems to get mad at her. Hasan's defenders continue to rage about Charlie covering this. Other top comments reading, "Actually never thought I'd unsub from Charlie, but rip bozo, see ya never. I can't believe this is the thing that Charlie is breaking his internet drama fast on. Don't really care. He lost me with how lazy that opinion was." Oh yeah, guys, because, doing terrible things to animals, that's just internet drama. And having an opinion that criticizes disgusting actions like that, well, that's just a lazy opinion. Bro, how are these people real? Speaking of that, it looks like now we've got Hasan's latest excuse. He's blaming the whole dog situation on Israel. Had posted a story here that says, she has no idea she's been the most famous dog on the internet for the past 2 days because of a coordinated far-right / pro-Israel slander campaign. You gotta love the far-right excuse too. I mean, this is so common from people like this. Oh, something I dislike, something that's criticizing me, it must be far-right extremism. It's funny that 11 hours ago, Hasan posted a video trying to make excuses for this whole thing by saying you were lied to. I don't think bro's talking about himself being the liar, but he should be. Now, here's something crazy. In that video, Hasan goes on to, in part, address the time-lapse video showing Kaya just being forced to sit there for hours on end. And a chatter says that, if you can just even go back one VOD before the last stream, you'll see that she's roaming free for plenty of the stream. And so I went to take a look, and I instantly found the opposite of that. What I actually found was Hasan once again getting upset at Kaya for having the audacity to stand up.
You only go one VOD back and Kaya roams the entire VOD amount. I know, but it doesn't matter, right? Because if you are in here for an extended period of time, you already know this.
So yeah, like I said, I went to check that out for myself, and here's what I found.
On your Twitch when the race was on, don't know what you saw. I couldn't really check because it was too chaotic, but basically it was great. It was a lot better. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to have 100 people watching because it's the exact opposite time. Kaya down. It was the exact opposite time that I normally stream at.
But of course, the rage towards Charlie from Hasan's community would continue. For example, another top comment reading, "So depressing. So many moments where she is walking around and Charlie acts like this doesn't happen because no one was saying so. Definitely doesn't happen. Like, bro, just watch any of his streams, please." Well, like I just did, I hopped one of his other streams and instantly saw Hasan getting mad at Kaya for standing up. Continuing with this comment though, "In my opinion, the reason why he is mad at her moving is probably because there's something happening in his house, and Kaya is constantly wanting to see and mess around. I say this because..." Okay, now hold on a second. This is like instantly a contradiction. She's always free to move around in the streams. You can see it whenever, and then instantly goes on to like talk about why he gets mad at her for moving around. Like, what are these people even doing? They're not even making sense anymore. This is just pathetic. Continuing though, they say, "I say this because I saw this behavior before, where she wanted to go outside, there was something happening, and he was constantly saying, no, stay there, don't go. Because this whole argument doesn't make any sense when literally 2 days before the polemic stream, she was walking around, normally around him, and he wasn't even reacting to her. Not only on this random day, but almost every stream. I guess bro got really scared by the numbers this did. The frustration obviously is because the insane stalkers now will pretend to care just to dunk on this opportunity." I have no idea what that's even referring to. This person sounds crazy. "The fact that Charlie only go to his friends and what is online instead of, I don't know, asking Hasan directly is so freaking frustrating. Yeah, Hasan is this master manipulator that hides his shot collar when friends go to his house and put it back when they leave. Come on, man. I guess we're back to buy a house, bad Hasan. I'm so done." And a response saying, "Socialism means you can't have dog." Are these people just like experts in misrepresenting arguments? Because this is just one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. We can see that same user who just made that wall of text excuse in this comment exchange, where it begins with this other user saying, "Disappointing. What exactly do you expect from this moron?" Referring to Charlie as the moron, of course. "Guess I'm still," here's the OP, "guess I'm still coping from when they played basketball together." And then that wall of text person goes on to say he could literally ask Hasan directly and explain in the video. Numbers really scary, this man, and that's crazy. What's crazy is this commenter. I mean, multiple times now this person just sounds extraordinarily unhinged. Like they're just making an excuse for someone who seems to be treating animals very poorly, and that's even me putting it nicely. Much worse things could be said about this all. And there's so many comments like this, too. "This is 100% Charlie giving chum to the Sharks after speaking out against the IDF." It's really telling how Hasan and his defenders just can't conceive that people dislike seeing animals suffering, and they have to try and somehow link this all to politics, Palestine, Israel, socialism, the far right, etc., etc. They really do just sound like mindless drones that follow what Hasan says without any thought of their own. And I'm of course referring to the recent story that we went over a moment ago where Hasan himself is blaming all of this backlash on Israel and the far right. Speaking of that post on Charlie's subreddit, well, moments ago, the post was actually locked by one of Charlie's mods who says, "Super sorry, but I'm locking the comments. We're being brigaded right now. I had to lock the other Hasan post for the same reason." And it does look like Hasan's defenders are actually brigading Charlie's subreddit in a desperate attempt at damage control. For example, one of Hasan's defenders here got downvoted by the usuals over on Charlie's subreddit, but you can see they attempted the damage control of saying, "I wouldn't be surprised if Israel were jumping on this opportunity to try and deplatform one of their largest critics. But I don't think it's manufactured by Israel. They just jumping on a golden opportunity for them. ETA, it would be extremely disappointing if we talked about a streamer's freaking dog instead of what's happening in Palestine for a week, though. Not saying that shocking your dog isn't bad, but genocide is worse." Another brigader saying, "This whole thing is manufactured. They took a meaningless clip and turned it into rage bait." And then also saying that the whole thing is just made up, to which people of course call them out for their immense cope. The OP also mentioning the video that's been resurfaced of Hasan allegedly pulling his old dog Fish by the tail. This is a clip that his defenders don't seem to be addressing at all. They're really trying to just not talk about that one. For anyone not familiar with the tail pulling clip that's been resurfaced, like I said yesterday in my coverage, I'm not going to play this. It is too disturbing to play. But here's where you can find it. It's on YouTube. You can search it right there. Another reason that Hasan's defenders are so upset with Charlie is that he directly called out their ridiculous excuse from the other day where they attempted to say that, oh, Kaya just scraped her dew claw. That's what happened, which, as I went over in my coverage yesterday, in my opinion, made absolutely no sense given the positioning and all the context around what happened here. To which Charlie also pointed out that exact excuse was also, in his opinion, absurd. Specifically saying that he watched the clip 15 times and that every person and person online outside of Hasan and his community are saying the same thing. That we all don't think the whole dew claw thing is what made Kaya yelp. That her dew claw doesn't seem to actually get caught or snagged on anything. It's a ridiculous excuse.
It is a sensitive area. That is true. If you've ever cut your dog's nails, or if you've ever taken your dog to like a dog salon or something and they like gave your dog a nail trim, you probably noticed that when it comes to the dew claw, they're very, defensive on it, like cautious, because it is such a tender spot. I have watched this clip like fucking 10 or 15 times now. And today I had some friends come in from out of town, so obviously I've been out most of the day at the farm, and this was actually a conversational topic. It's become so big that it was brought up by them. And every single person, and pretty much everyone I've seen online outside of Hasan and Hasan's community, is all saying the same thing. That yes, it looks like the dog does like touch its leg to that spot on the bed, but it doesn't look like it gets caught or anything. So it feels very unlikely that that is what caused the dog to scream in pain. Like, I don't think that's what made Kaya, that's her name, yelp. It doesn't seem to get caught or snagged on anything, and dew claws aren't so sensitive and so tender that even touching them would cause like a panicked scream or anything. Unless she has an injury there, but I don't think Hasan has mentioned that, at least not that I've seen. So it feels to me very unlikely that that's what caused it, based on everything that we can see.
Of course, Hasan's defenders don't like anyone actually analyzing the situation and not believing the excuses that they've been trying to put out, as Charlie's video also got responses from Hasan's community, such as just parroting fake BS, screw Charlie, and I unsubscribed. It's just so gross that he put up that video. He can shove the fence sitting up his... And that comment ends there. Of course, this was ultimately a small sample of the numerous angry people defending Hasan and getting mad at Charlie for covering this in a way that wasn't just believing all the lies that these people have been trying to put out, their damage control, so to speak. But I'm sure you get the point, so I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed my coverage, again, despite how disgusting this whole situation really is. And yeah, let's have a great weekend ahead, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the comments and in the next one.